Good morning and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about the stimulus check update, rental assistance for those of you around the country that need to get up to 15 months of your back rent, and also the universal housing voucher that I have been speaking about in 2020. This is part of Joe Biden's early plan. So, there are four proposals for stimulus checks, and, at this point, it's all subjective. There are a lot of people talking about this, and so there's nothing definitive written down. I think there's just a lot of talk across the party lines between Democrats and Republicans. I believe that three of them have a fair chance, and possibly one of them is a pipe dream. Now, I've taken down some notes so we can kind of go over what I have found out. So there is a proposal for $1,000. Single people up to 40K could get this, and if you're married, up to $80,000 with a $500 benefit for each dependent, and I believe that extends up to just 5 dependents. And then the unemployment aspect of that would likely, in that package, would likely be $300 to $400 a month, and would run, subjectively through September. Now, the second stimulus check that they're considering, and now this is going to be one that Biden is pushing for, President Biden, and it's going to be people that make money up to $75,000, married couples up to $100K, and dependents, again, up to 5 dependents, and each one would earn you an additional $500. Now, the third one I consider more of a pipe dream. It's $2,000, and it's from a smaller group of both party delegates that are probably from both sides. And the reason that I don't believe that would come to fruition is it doesn't have the support of the president, and it certainly does not have the majority support of the Republicans. So I don't know that that's really on anybody's agenda very high up, okay? The other thing I want to talk to you about is the unemployment. So a lot of you guys have had it, and then it was stopped, and then it started again. And so I'm very certain at this point, one, the stimulus check will come, and it's going to come fairly soon. I mean, that's what has to happen. Both Biden and the Republican Party are eager to get this done, so there is a definite need for it. So, with the unemployment situation, I believe that there's probably universal agreement on the $400 payment, at least to September, as I had suggested, but you never know. They could change their mind, or they may increase the actual direct payment to more. So now there's some other things that you should consider, on a political map when you're dealing with both Democrats and Republicans, okay? Now, normally, for a couple of years, I think the Republicans have been in control of, the White House, obviously, with Donald Trump being president at that time, and they were the majority of the Senate. Things have changed a little bit, so now, you have a Democrat for president, and the Senate now is 50-50 with a tiebreaker with the vice president. But the main thing is, I think that Mr. Biden only needs 51 votes. So he needs all the Democrats and 1 Republican votes. Normally they would need 10 Republican votes, but there's some type of special, and I can't think of the name of it, there's some special thing that they can enact it, but only require just 1 Republican vote. So stimulus checks will most certainly happen. I think they'll pass, the Democrats will more than likely pass whatever they like. I don't believe it'll ever be $2,000 right now. The important thing to think about is, this is just early in the year, so I would imagine, again, when we reach around the September summer to September part, we probably will be talking about yet another package. So this is a tough year because we're seeing the worst of COVID, and now we have 2 different variants. We have a variant of COVID-19 out of Africa, and we have a very deadly variant from Europe. Most of Europe is locked down because of that variant, and these appear to be drug resistant, but again, I don't have a PhD, I'm not a doctor, so everything really I'm saying about this stuff is completely subjective. If I'm a little bit inaccurate about the stimulus checks, payments, and information, look, information is dime a dozen out there when it comes to this stuff. It's not, none of it's written legislation, so again, that is subjective. Everybody's welcome to their own opinion, and I'm glad, always happy to hear it. So, beyond all that, we're talking about federal minimum wage. So, we have been struggling with this since I was a kid. We don't really have changed that wage very often. I think 2008 was the last time we saw a little quarter hike. There's a very good chance, I'd say 70% chance, that we would finally see a nationwide minimum wage of $15 an hour. I do understand that it may hurt businesses and make things more difficult. However, we're spending money in this country at such a rapid rate, and we're going in new levels of debt never seen before. And so our country's kind of in trouble. We need the stimulus money because this economy is an engine. It needs to be restarted, and without stimulating it, which that's what these checks do, then we could. The U.S. could fall into a position where it's no longer the number one position, which would make us vulnerable to a lot of things, okay? Again, that's subjective in my own thoughts. So, I think that it would be beneficial just kind of moving, be a little bit more progressive with the $15 an hour and start adjusting. I think the business is finally at 2020. This is not 1980 anymore. I think we could probably figure out how to roll out that $15 an hour over several years, and I think companies will have time to adjust and then possibly inflate their prices in order to meet that guideline. We're already pretty close to that anyways. I don't really know that not that many people are going to work for $7.25 anymore. Matter of fact, if you were to hire somebody at $7 or $8 an hour and told you you're going to pay them that, they would probably laugh you out the door, okay? Most people, at the very minimum, expect $10 to $12 an hour. So, now, I'm going to go into rental assistance. Now, as many as you know, I'm a consultant. I have one of the biggest YouTube channels out there. I've dealt with over $100 million worth of properties owned by landlords that need Section 8 tenants. I've dealt with thousands of tenants that need rental assistance, and also that have come to me over the past 15 years, for help getting Section 8 housing. They've come to me about COC housing because I'm fast, I'm effective. And to be frank with you, I'm one of the very best in the nation when it comes to getting people housed. I have a stellar record, 97% success rate, completely provable. And so anyways, if any of y'all are interested in consulting that would help you get this rental assistance, I have a national database of that. It's around 700 pages, so I've been largely very successful. Only 3 failures out of about over 100 cases of getting up to 15 months back rent. So if you don't understand how that works, or it's too convoluted or complicated for you, I would suggest reaching out to me for a consult. Like I said, it's $40 for 30 minutes, and that's quite an adequate amount of time to figure out where to get your rent. The second thing I'm going to tell you is the universal housing voucher. I think it's been discussed a lot, but the problem we're really going to have, I was hoping this would be something that would be included in the $1.9 trillion stimulus, but, it looks like this may not roll out to 2022 because we need to put money in other areas. I understand that's a focus of giving universal housing to people and one basic type of voucher for anybody that's low income. But I just think that we're having to allocate a lot of money in different directions right now to make that possible. I think that maybe Joe Biden would address that at the beginning, the end of 2021 to 2022, when things have cooled down and our economy starts to recover, because that's a big ticket item, and it's going to take a lot of cooperation. We really need to see the direction this country is going to go in this year. So, with all that being said, I think we have some things to look forward to. It's a tough time for everybody, and I know we're all struggling to get out there. Some of us are struggling to get work. Some of us are struggling to get housing. And, when it comes to this, the main thing is to focus, on trying to stay safe and healthy, try to get yourself back employed if you can, and then look forward to getting a stimulus check if you can get it, or for those of you that are getting unemployment. So I've enjoyed talking with y'all briefly about this, and I also want to mention one last thing. In about 10 days, I will be celebrating 6 years of being on YouTube. 6 successful years, okay? And I still have a very good, stellar reputation on YouTube. And so I'm going to be rolling out a video about that coming up. And the last thing, the very, very last thing, is going to be that we will be moving to live chat on Saturday. So I'm still determining the time. So if y'all ever really want to just communicate with me live through a chat window while I make a live video, then join me on Saturdays. I should have information on that on the community page. It's important to know that the first few live videos will probably be a little bit of a mess. It's going to take me to get used to that. And I've never done it before, so obviously I'll be nervous. Okay, so I've enjoyed talking with y'all this morning, and wish y'all all the greatest for this week. Bye-bye.